hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And Marianne behind the camera.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food. And honey, we are doing a chicken dinner tonight. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
But we're going to do it in a way that is inspired by some memories. So, of course, it's springtime, which is, of course, wonderful. And often in the spring, my travels take me to Paris, don't they?
Yes.
Now, I did not go to Paris this spring, and I will tell you I missed it because I think it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world for so many reasons. But what inspired me, Mayor, is we're going to do sort of a poulet rôti, roast chicken in French. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. But when you're in Paris, Mayor, and you're walking down the avenues and the boulevards, often you will pass a market. And they have these they're large, but they're portable. They're on wheels. These big rotisserie ovens that they put right out on the sidewalk. And they've got chickens on them, turning around. You've seen them in the supermarkets, right?
Right.
And the chickens are roasting. But here's what's a little different. You've got the chickens spinning around on the spit, on the rotisserie. And there's a big gas flame in there, and it's hot. But underneath the chicken, okay, there's a big tray of potatoes and sometimes carrots or other vegetables. And what happens is, as the chicken cooks on the rotisserie, all that wonderful drippings from the chicken, they fall down. And they fall on the potatoes. And it all cooks together. Delicious. And so we're going to do something akin to that. And we're going to use a cast iron skillet. Since it's just you and I, Toots, this is a 10-inch skillet. If you were having a few more people, you could use a 12-inch skillet or larger. So what you want to do is start by preheating your oven to 400 degrees, okay? And in this case, we've got three things. We've got onions, we've got some potatoes, and I've got some bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And we are going to put this together and kind of in layers and put it in the oven and make our Parisian-inspired poulet rôti, roast chicken. So, Mayor, I've got a couple of small onions here. You could use one large one if you had it, which I didn't. So I'm using two small ones. Let's try this. And you can see I just sort of sliced it. And what we want to do is we want to have enough onion to just cover the bottom of the pan. And you can use, these are yellow onions here. You could certainly use a sweet onion if you had it, a white onion, whatever you like. I think that's pretty good. Have a good layer here of the onion. Okay, so once the onions are in, we're going to season them with some pepper and some salt. Okay? Now we've got our potatoes. I'm going to layer these in a circular way all the way around. They're cut on the thin side again, 1/4 inch max, but we want to get a nice layer here going around. Yukon Golds are wonderful. Yellow potato. You could do certainly redskins. Tuck a few more in here. Got a couple of little ends. Okay. Now that the potatoes are in, I've got a few little slivers of butter. Certainly wouldn't be French inspired without butter now, would it?
Nope.
So we're going to put a few pads of butter. These are thin slices. This is probably maybe a tablespoon or so of butter. Then, Mare, we're going to season our potato layer here. I'm using sort of an all-purpose seasoning here that I like. You could certainly, if I was really Frenching it, I would use some herbs de Provence, right?
Right.
Which would be great in this, but I don't have that here, so we're going to use this. Now, okay, so we've got our onions, we've got our potatoes, now we've got our chicken thighs. And I'm going to put these in. Now, I've noticed when you get chicken thighs, often there is a lot of extra skin. Now, we want the skin, okay? Because the skin is going to render as these cook and provide lots and lots of flavor. So, but like all this extra stuff, you see that, Mare?
Yeah.
That we don't need. So you can, if you have a lot of extra skin, just trim it off. So I figure 2 thighs per person. And let me just trim that. We want to kind of make sure that we cover everything, but and it wouldn't be a total hardship if we had a little left over. So here's a small one, and that is going to go right in the middle. Okay? We'll put those 2 in the freezer for future use. Now, let me wash my hands, and we'll come back and season these chicken thighs. All right, now we're going to just season up these chicken thighs with a little pepper. Now, you don't have a cast iron skillet? Okay. You can, and then this is just seasoned salt on top here. You don't have a cast iron skillet? No worries. Go ahead and use any oven-safe skillet, okay, or pan.
Could you put it in a Dutch oven?
You could,
But it'd be too high, though.
but you don't want high sides,
Yeah.
because you really want the heat to come across the top. That's why a skillet really works best. And if you don't have a cast iron skillet, you should look for one, because they're wonderful. And what the nice thing about it is, you can use them on top of the stove and, like we're going to do here, in the oven. Okay, Mare. 400 degrees, an hour.
Rolling.
Well, it's been an hour, and Does it smell good in here or what? Ooh, it's bubbling. Okay. Wow. Check that out, Mayor. Now what you want to make sure of two things. One, that skin should be nice and crispy. And of course, yes, the potatoes totally tender, fork tender. Okay, really hot. So we're going to just let this hang out for a few minutes. We'll come back and dish it up, our skillet chicken. Well, I think it has cooled off enough. We can venture into our poulet roti, roast chicken. And take a look at this, Mayor. So, what I'm going to do is get out a couple of these thighs. Okay. Then the potatoes with those onions underneath. Look at that. Wow. Now, you could serve this also with a green vegetable or a beautiful salad. Of course, if we were in Paris, we'd have a little glass of wine with this as well. I should have said, and I didn't, I got Mary Ann's plate here. People always ask about the plates. This is Red Rooster by Poppy Trail, Metlocks, California Pottery. Don't you think I thought it would be fun to have chicken on a chicken plate, right?
Right.
Why not? So, anyways, let's, I'm going to try one of these potatoes first, Mayor. Are you kidding me? Holy smoke. First of all, come down here, Mayor, and look at this beautiful, soft, cooked onion. Oh, those onions are so sweet. Putting a little butter on those potatoes was almost gilding the lily a little bit, because you got the butter, you got the chicken. Now, let's get into one of these. Oh, you hear that? Now, my sister doesn't eat the skin, do you?
No, I don't.
And a lot of people don't. But when it's this crisp and this yummy, I'm eating it along with the chicken here. I can. So tender. Wow, that is good. You know, the chicken's tender. The skin is nice and crisp. You've got the potatoes. Delicious. Oh my gosh. If I didn't know where I would think I was having dinner in a little bistro somewhere in near the Tuileries, Mayor. But here we are in Croswell and loving it. Anyways, there it is, folks. Our skillet chicken, memories of Paris, and Mary Ann, you are going to like it, okay? And so we want to remind our food friends, Mayor, that the recipe is in the description below the video. Yes, I have a website. Should we tell our friends what it is?
I think we should. Cavalcadeoffood.com.
Cavalcadeoffood.com is the place to connect to everything I'm doing, including my other YouTube channel, Always Analog, and my Saturday morning radio program, Cavalcade Radio Hour. If you are not subscribed, please do so. It really helps the channel. I am the slowest growing YouTube channel in the history of YouTube. Would like to get the subscriber up a little bit. And I want to thank you all for watching. I hope spring is in full swing wherever you are. I say thank you to my little sister for working the camera. Thank you, Mary Ann.
You're welcome.
And we hope you're all well. And we'll see you again real soon here on Cavalcade of Food. Bon appetit!
Bye.